Lady Gaga was unbelievably generous. I've always been a fan, but I've made a new friend because she's lovely. And she called and asked if I would mind, did I object in any way to her doing the medley? And I said, of course not. And she sang them in the keys that I originally sang them in the movie, in honor, as a tribute to me. And I said, they're very high. And she said, yeah, I wanted to do it for you. She wanted to introduce me and be the one to do that. And I was deeply touched. And then I think she showed the most enormous amount of courage getting up and preparing. She said she was really rehearsing for about 2 months vocally to do it. And she really nailed it. I thought she did great. And then coming on with her introduction was just the most amazing welcome. Felt phenomenal. So it was wonderful. I was so worried that I would either take some thunder away from her or vice versa, and she so handed it to me on a platter and looked so great herself.
Have you met Lady Gaga? Have you worked with her?
I haven't met Lady Gaga, but really the highlight of my life, probably ever, was when she tweeted me with a picture of Lana Winters, no less, which was the character that I was the most excited to play in my whole life. And there was a tweet, and it wasn't even at me, because I don't know if she even knew I was on Twitter. But then people started texting me going, oh my God. I was like, what? And I was like, well, that's not real. And they're like, it is real. And then I looked at it, and then I tweeted her back. It's very exciting.
And then you were just running around town showing everyone on your phone.
I have had contact with Lady Gaga. Have you?
She's sort of indirectly tweeted me.
She actually knows who I am.
I mean, she's going to be. You're going to be working with her. Has this really sunk in?
No, clearly not. I'm very excited. I'm going to cry.
The promo for the next season for Hotel with Lady Gaga?
Yeah, the announcement one, sure, which I thought actually, I just laughed and thought, how genius is that, perfect that Gaga get involved. I mean, especially for an acting debut for her, I don't think there's a venue that would be more perfect for her, than this. So I was just perfect.
You've seen the announcement with Lady Gaga, right?
Oh yes.
What do you think about this?
Well, I'm very excited. First of all, about the season and to know what it is, because I didn't know, and it was cool to see her announce it. And I'm a big fan of hers. My jaw dropped when I saw her on the Oscars. Absolutely dropped.
Yeah.
And then my sister, she said, aren't you with it? She said she did this whole great album with Tony Bennett, so I've been listening to that. I mean, I feel like, I don't want to say anything about Liza and Barbara, but there's a whole niche there that's available for her, and she's just, I can't believe she's only 28.
I know, it's kind of infuriating.
Well, I've just decided I have to put her picture up in front of the treadmill.
The process of making this album was very unique. Like, she come in with a full-fledged song, like especially with Born This Way. She came in, we were in Australia, I believe, and she goes, I want you to work on this song. It's called Born This Way. I feel it's like the moment of the album. This is what inspires the album, the message, everything about it. So she comes in and plays it on piano vocals, like a little mini concert, which is like, wow, it's always amazing to hear her perform. And we're like, what do you want to do with the song? What do you hear? It's like, well, I want to make it, epic, of course, but, rock influence. I want the passion of, the rock element and, synth techno elements as well. That, it's part of, who she is. So we started with, piano vocal. We just lay down a straight, piano with the click track, and then she'll sing the song all the way through. And then we'll start making the record. So, I mean, finding the right sounds, we make sure not to use like pre-processed sounds, like, sounds that you get off whatever sample CDs or software synthesizers, stock sounds we call them, because we wanted to make sure that this album sounded different sonically and everything about it, just the way it was put together. Born This Way, the single, wasn't like the obvious choice for like a #1 radio banger or club banger. It was more about the song itself, and we were lucky that, it went to #1, but like that wasn't our main goal. The main goal was to get the message out. Another interesting song, which is the current single right now, Edge of Glory. We were backstage during after one of her concerts, and she was like, just telling us about what happened with her family, and she said I have a song that I wrote for my grandfather, and she played us, again, the piano vocal. And right away, as soon as she was done with it, we were like, okay, let's go with this. Do you have a heartbeat? I want a heartbeat to start the song out. It's like, yeah, let's go. So, started with the heartbeat, and then we started laying down the chords. She started playing piano and picking sounds really quick. But you can imagine, like, writing songs while you have, like, press, people coming in and out backstage. You can hear people breaking down, or, like, it's all that intense. This album was made on the road and through her experiences of touring. I think it's pretty epic. It's pretty, it's an emotional song, and like putting the song out, it's not typical of her. Like, it's not the big traditional dance floor anthem, like club banger. It's more of a song, but it works great because it's still dance, but it was more about, again, the message.
Or Lady Gaga.
I loved her performance.
I loved her performance.
I thought she was amazing.
She was kind of.
It was a different side though. Because she was a lot more toned down.
She was.
I thought
there
that
you go.
was so.
Besides her butt.
That was
Besides her
so
butt,
creative of her though.
I remember this song. I remember hearing it. I remember discovering this woman and being so impressed by her constant wanting to be left and out of the box and doing things that I think a lot of people would be scared to do. This is Poker Face Lady Gaga.
It was tremendous. Gaga did a beautiful job, and then when Dame Julie just kind of floated out like a vision, I got goosebumps. It was beautiful.
I mean, we all knew that Lady Gaga had a pretty good voice, but I mean, it was special this evening, wasn't it?
And it was just lovely to see her perform so simply and passionately. It was great.
You've worked with Madonna. You've worked with Lady Gaga.
And I've gotten to choreograph a couple of Paula's videos too.
And a couple of Paula. You and Paula go back.
Yeah.
Tell me about. I'm interested in all that about Lady Gaga. I want.
Okay.
What kind of? Is she a great dancer as well as performer and singer?
She's a great artist, and I think dancing is one of her elements. One of her components. You appreciate her because you can see her in the theater of what she does, and the sort of concepts that she comes up with for her performances. And that's what I got out of it. It's total professional. She only cares about the art. She's willing to put in the work, and it was just a joy to work with her, really.
Is she on the way to being as big as Michael Jackson was?
I think that she's on the way to being a megastar. I don't like to compare my artists because, they all are so unique. But I think that she has a lot of the qualities that I feel are necessary to really have a long career.
And a mystery around her. You don't know much about this person. And one thing I think she does share with Michael Jackson is the workaholic kind of that work ethic. This woman is really just so driven.
Yeah. Michael is the one who told me about her. He said, yeah, Lady Gaga. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah, she's great. You got to get into her. So then I started to listen to her, and I got it. And after Michael passed, one of the first work calls I received was from her to direct her tour.
Saying, hey, I'm not going to join him on stage, but boy, obviously now, but boy, I would like to work with you.
Yeah. And it was fun, and we had a great time, and it was awesome. And she was very much like Andy Warhol. Like, she has this team, House of Gaga, that surround her.
They call it House of Gaga?
Yeah, and so everybody contributes. And it was really cool. It reminded me of Andy Warhol. And, of course, I was able to work with my dear friend Zaldi, who does the costuming, and did the costuming for Michael for This Is It.
Sure.
So it was great. And he was...
Zaldi does the costuming for Lady Gaga?
He did.
Is he the main guy when it comes to her fashion period?
She worked with him for, I think, some photos and, of course, the live show. But she works with different stylists and different artists and different designers all the time.
You got to shake it up when you're... I mean, nobody can come up with that many ideas.
Yeah, and she can get it.
Who came up with the meat dress? I can't remember that.
I don't know, but it was definitely a sensation.
Was that still a sensation?
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think we do have a lot of people in our, at least entertainment culture, that exist to sort of push those boundaries. I think the difference nowadays is it seems like some people do that more for press or more for sort of the value of getting their name out there and making a splash or something, rather than the kind of artistic approach to it. But I do think, if you look at Kanye, or if you look at Lady Gaga, or you look at these people that are just doing stuff that they're pushing it, I watched Lady Gaga's performance on Saturday Night Live, and she was in that crazy thing with the swirling, like she looked like the planets or something. I was like, right on. Who made that, first of all?
Were you a fan then and there? Were you a fan beforehand?
Right then and there. I was like, all right, I get
I'm
it.
on board now.
I get it now. The fact that she had to kind of awkwardly sit down at the piano and then played awesomely with it, I was like, okay, all right, I'm with you.
Stage
By the way, your girlfriend,
lady. That's a good one.
He
lights up a little bit,
Well,
yeah.
she tweeted. I thought that was kind of cool. She tweeted, "Hey, watch this NBC show." I was like, "Wow, Gaga's going on."
No, I was surprised. It was.
She?
I think it's great. I think she's proud of a girlfriend being proud of her boyfriend and excited. She's been to set a couple times.
Yeah, but how do you guys ever see one another? She's on a world tour. You're up in Chicago doing your television show.
She hasn't said anything, but she has a spaceship, and she can get to A and B pretty quickly.
So you all met doing a video, right? Of one of her music
You'll
videos?
have to ask her this whole story. She's better with the stuff.
She's better with it.
Yeah.
What's it like though, dating her? Because she's so iconic now. It must be a little strange. Huh?
I don't know, because it's I don't have that outside
Yeah, it's all inside.
view. So it's I guess it's normal, if you will, in that respect or
Never
whatever.
heard that word attached to Gaga.
Well,
I don't seems kind of normal.
I guess so. I don't for whatever reason it works, but I'm
We're happy.
You're a happy
guy.
Yeah.
I'm a lucky guy.
That's great.